Hello, everybody. Welcome along. Are you looking forward to this one? This should be a cracker. Burnley versus Leeds, first against third in the EFL Championship to round out round 29. A huge game at the top of the table, coloured by some peculiar results with Sheffield United losing at home to Hull. Sunderland succumbing to a late Plymouth equaliser. The door is wide open for either side if they can get a win in this one. Burnley can tie Leeds up at the top of the table. They could even go past them if they beat them by 4. Leeds could put a 6-point gap in between themselves and Burnley with 17 games to play. The stakes are high. Let's get straight in there with a like spike. Hit the thumb up if you're watching the stream right now. Right, welcome everybody. I won't read any comments because we're on a tight one here. I'll say lots of hellos though to Ewan, to Kev, shout out to Kieran, Gizmo, Graham, Nipper, and legend, Ian, Jay, Sam, Ian, Brian, Ewan, and Liam. A Chriswood derby, indeedy. Right, so we get straight into team news. You know the narrative. Let's find out who you think are going to be the match winners potentially in this one. Here come your lineups. Okay, the home side, Burnley. Look, a little bit like this. We've covered them plenty on the channel. We know them well. James Trafford, is he an S-house? Is he a great keeper? Potentially both after the penalty antics against Sunderland. Loads of clean sheets, though. Roberts and Humphreys are the fullbacks, with Stev and Egan Riley making up that incredibly impressive defence for Burnley. We'll get into the numbers when we look at the table. Cullen and Laurent is very sturdy and very steady at championship level. Anthony and Foster provide the width. Brownhill is kind of box to box and kind of a number 10. And Fleming is the goal scorer up top and a player in form at the moment. Let me know your match winners potentially in there. Leeds United 11 looks a little something like this. If I click the right button, there we go. Melier in goal. Hopefully a quiet night for him, for our Leeds fans in the chat. Bogle and Byram are the fullbacks. Ampadu and Rodon. Remember, Strarick is out for a while, we think, as well, but maybe not a long while. We'll find out in due course. Tanaka and Grueff is the central midfield. They're nearly back to full fitness, aren't they, Leeds? James and Solomon wide. Aronson and Joel Piru up top. Let me know who your match winners are. We're going to have a little look at the benches for both sides. Don't get seasick. I'm going to have to do a little bit of scrolling here. Hladky, Worrell, Egan, Perez, Barnes, Hannibal, Rodriguez, Sarmiento, Colaiosho. I'm just laughing. Imagine it was a bit of a tetchy game and then you brought Hannibal and Barnes into an already tetchy game. That would be fun as a neutral. For Leeds on the bench, Darlow, Schmidt, Guiavogi, Firpo, Verba, Rothwell, Ramazani, Joseph, and Nonto. Let me know your thoughts on those 11s and we should be able to read out some of your comments here. Who else are we saying hello to first? Paul, welcome to you, fella. Lee representing loads of channel members after, who was it? Steve giving out all the memberships the other night. Brilliant. Thank you, Steve, again for that. Jeff, good evening to you. Nipper, if we score first, they'll have to come at us. Then they'll be playing into our hands. It's hard to score first against Burnley, isn't it? We'll have a look at the table. And then hold fire on your predictions, guys. I'll take them all in one go, if you don't mind, in a couple of minutes. That'll help me out. And yeah, it's just a as a neutral, it's just a brilliant matchup. Look at that. You're in round 29, just before we get into the business end and the kind of final third of the season. But look at that, first against third. You've got to love it. Leeds pushing nicely above 2 points per game, 3 points above 2 points per game. They're top of the table. And look what a win would do for Leeds. They would go to 62. Burnley would stay at 56. That is a 6-point gap of which to defend. And then you kind of know if you're Sunderland or Burnley, you've got to be making 6, 7, 8 points, depending on goal difference, etc., etc. So it's big for Leeds, but then look how big it is for Burnley as well. A win ties them up. That's kind of not the most important thing, because the win takes them into the top 2 above Sheffield United. And for the neutral, I know the Leeds fans won't appreciate me saying this, for the neutral, that would be preferable, because then you get 59, 59, 58, and Sunderland still in there on 55. It gets very stretched for Sunderland, doesn't it? If Leeds get the win, Sunderland would then be 7 points off top spot. We're taking Sunderland seriously in this title race, but they'd have some ground to make up then, wouldn't they? Cara is a legend. She's always here, and she's always super chatting. £5. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like the stream. And she's definitely giving some Oasis reunion tickets out to somebody at some point. But thank you so much, Cara, for your continued support as ever. Paul, watched the relegation predictions earlier. Yeah, check it out. I was on with Matt SB earlier. Sam Parkin has been delayed until tomorrow just to talk about this game, although he was on co-coms on Sky for, which game was it? Millwall and Luton, which we did as the watch along. So you're going to hear from Sam Parkin on the channel tomorrow about the weekend's action, and in particular this massive game. Right, I need your predictions in the chat. I want one bit of information. You don't need to be clever. You don't need to be funny. Literally, Burnley, number, Leeds. That's all I need from you. Get your predictions in for me. How do you see this one going? I think both Sam and I backed Leeds on the prediction show. So we've both gone on the away team, and Burnley undefeated at home as well. So brave call there, I think, from me and Sam. I'm sure we'll get a few nil-effing nils and low margin ones. Get those predictions in right now, guys. I can see it filling up. I'm going to hit the stinger, and you're going to have 24 seconds to get those predictions in. Go, go, go. Right, here we go. Let's have your predictions. Let's see how the audience is feeling about this. Here we go. Brian, 2-1. Burnley. Kev, Desmond, Gizmo, 1-1. Joe, 0-0. Lee, 4-2. I'll take it. Goals. Kieran, 3-1. Burnley. Alan, 0-0. Nipper, 3-0 Leeds. Greg, 0-0. Cara, 3-0 Leeds. Paul, 2-1 Burnley. Ben, 2-0 Burnley. Desmond, Ant, I'm going to butcher this name. Sorry, Karshanbai. So sorry if I butchered your name, mate. 1-1. Burnley, 1-0. Sam. Jay, Leeds 2-1. Burnley 2-1. David, Leeds 2-0. Graham, 1-1. Stephen there. Adam, 2-1 Leeds. Liam, 1-0 Burnley. Paul, 2-1 Burnley. Love that, Christopher. 5 goals in there for a bonus point. You love to see it. 3-2 Leeds, 2-0 Leeds. I'll just read all these scorelines out, guys. Ronan, 2-1 Leeds. Charlie, the same. Oh, legend Charlie. Nice to see you, mate. 2-1. Any more? 2-1 Burnley. 3-3. Bake the net. Backer. Oh, very good. Eric Backer used to play for Leeds, didn't he? I like that. 0-1, liking trash, Desmond there, and Coffee Goblin 1-1. Let's just talk about the draw now, because we went into the start of the week thinking the draw is going to be bad news, because you're thinking, well, Sheffield United are going to beat Hull, and you're thinking Sunderland are definitely going to beat Plymouth, and the draw is going to be a big problem and squeeze it all up. The draw is not a problem now, actually, for either team. It'll keep Leeds at the top. And if you're Burnley and you draw this game and you've essentially ticked off 2 games against Leeds and taken 4 points, then it's up to you, isn't it, against the other 22 remaining teams in the league. So, in my opinion, the draw went from being a problem before the round started, and it's not anymore. So, I don't know if it goes a bit tournament football-y because of the high stakes in this one. Whether they will shake hands on the draw if we're in minute 70 and everything's level. We will see. But as I've said, the draw is now not a problem, but a win would be absolutely massive for either side. Guys, I don't know how many subs we've got on the channel, like 42,000 and something or other. I'd love some more. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button as the players walk down the tunnel, ready to get out onto the pitch at Turf Moor. I'd love you to hit the subscribe button. You can do it right now. It'll take you 1 second. You've got 10 seconds to do it, though. Sub Surge. Right, we've all been looking forward to this one all weekend. It's going to be absolutely tremendous. Top of the table action in the EFL Championship for a Monday night. And it is Burnley versus Leeds. Let me rattle through the teams. Again, one more time. Burnley, Trafford, Roberts, Humphreys, Egan, Esteve, Cullen, Laurent, Anthony, Foster, Brownhill, and Fleming. Leeds, Melier, Bogle, Byram, Roden, Ampadu, Tanaka, Gruev, James, Solomon, Aronson, and Peru. Get your views in as we kick off this one. We are 2 minutes to 8 p.m. on your Monday, the 27th of January. We're about to end round 29 in the EFL Championship. Quick reminder that you can support the channel merely by interacting with the stream. That's all you got to do. Get in the comments, hit the thumbs up button. That helps us out massively. That will cost you absolutely nothing. Remember, this content will always be free on YouTube, but you can support by donating, as you've already seen the wonderful Cara do in the chat there. You can donate via Super Chat, or you can sign up. I would recommend signing up on YouTube rather than Patreon, because then you can also get, amongst the other perks, early access to YouTube videos. For example, today, the Premier League chat with me and Matt SB, you'd have got that, I think, over an hour earlier than everybody else to get your comments in, get your likes in, get right to the top. Make sure everybody gets to see your opinion and it doesn't get lost down the list in all of the comments. So please support if you can. Like I say, it'll always be free. No obligation to do so. But if you can, you really, really help me out. If you love the EFL Championship and you like what we are doing over here on the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel, let's get the banner up and we're going to put Burnley 0, Leeds 0. We are about to get going in a massive championship game here. It is first against third. Leeds United leading the way in the EFL Championship. 59 points from 28 games. Burnley 3 points back. Bang on 2 points per game. Burnley 56 points from 28 games. And it's the archetypal 6-pointer. The gap is currently 3 points. If Leeds win, the gap will be 6 points. If Burnley win, the gap will be 0 points. You love to see it. Ben, thank you so much. Ben's contributed many, many times. Thank you so much, Ben. One of our Watford fans in the chat there. $4.99 on the Super Chat. Happy Monday, everyone, indeed. 3 balls there. Does that mean there's going to be 3 goals in this game? We think it's going to be very low margin. 2 good teams defensively. Let's be fair. The top 4 teams have all been outstanding at home, haven't they? Right. We're going to read out that Super Chat like in trash as we kick off. Hopefully a more exciting... Oh, my God. Hopefully a more exciting game than Luton v Millwall. Love you, Luton. Love you, Millwall. But the first half of that game was utter bilge, wasn't it? It's got to be better than that, guys. So much quality on the pitch here. 2 parachute teams here. Been in the Premier League very, very recently. Stacked with quality, both of them. But thank you, Liking Trash, for £5 on the Super Chat. We really, really appreciate all of your support, everybody. And we are off and away. You can tell I'm excited. I'm talking 10 to the dozen. Let me get in the middle of my seat. Let me know if your audio is still good. I'm just moving the mic over here and my brilliant technology here just to help me out with the Burnley 11. And Rodon for Leeds plays that up the line to Jayden Bogle. The ball is turned over to Burnley and cleared away into the front, knocked off by Fleming on to Foster, who tries to exploit the space left by Bogle as he went forward there. It's with Laurent in midfield and knocked on to Egan Riley. And Burnley will be patient. Leeds engaging in the press. It's not harem-scarum to begin with, but there's a nice intensity to it thus far. 1 minute gone. Channel ball for Jaden Anthony, which they played really well against Plymouth, didn't they? I know everything went well against Plymouth, but the switch of play left to right and the channel ball for Jaden Anthony absolutely killed Plymouth, didn't it? And Anthony was very good. Tom, we need to talk about my beloved Matt Grimes leaving. Is that definitely happening? Is it Coventry? And what does that mean about Ben Sheaf at Coventry as well, everybody? Putting 2 and 2 together and making 17 there. But yeah, Matt Grimes played hundreds of games for Swans, hasn't he? Former Leeds player indeed. There's the switch to Anthony. James gets over and covered. Anthony crosses low. Leeds calmly play out of the box, but they can't get a counter going here. And in fact, it's turned over in a nice area here for Burnley. Down the left, Foster knocks it on. Cross comes in from Bashir Humphreys and is blocked out. Good start from Burnley. They're the better side in the opening 2 minutes. Leeds will have expected this. They've just got to ride it out and get themselves a foothold in the game. Unstoppable force, immovable object. Well, absolutely. Does feel like that, which is why so many people have got the draw and so many people have got the 0-0. I get it. I really, really do get it. Suspected 3 million for Matty Lee. Does that mean Ben Sheaf will be sold then? Seems a similar position in the team. I know one's kind of a playmaker and one's a bit more box to box, but is there such thing as a box to box midfielder anymore? Remember asking Matt Holland about that. The great Matt Holland, the definition of a box to box midfielder. Maybe Brian Robson is the definition of a box to box midfielder. Tanaka gets between the two centre halves to start the attack. It's a giveaway from Rodon. From Ampadu, my bad. But it's turned back over and poked into Ampadu. Leeds just getting a feel of it now. Piru comes short, joins in really nice, neat and tidy. Bogle's inverted inside and carries the ball through the middle of the pitch. Bogle to the edge of the box. Oh, it's going to break nicely for Piru. Drives the shot in left-footed. It's blocked out. Can Leeds continue the attacks? A foul on the edge of the box. Really clumsy from Anthony. Leeds countering well. Opened up a second there for Piru. He went for the left-footed shot diagonal. It was nicely blocked. And Anthony just gets all in a muddle and clearly knocks Solomon over. Free kick to Leeds, edge of the box. Gruev's there, but he's a left footer, isn't he? Piru, Aronson, I think it suits across, doesn't it? And just figuring out what to do between the three of them. Gruev, of course, scored a free kick against Norwich in the playoff semi-final for Leeds United. Aronson looks like he's lining his angles up. Piru is stepping away. Maybe it's going to be a shot from Aronson. Gruev's just having one more word with him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Aronson's going to take it. Trafford puts the wall up with 3 in for Burnley. Aronson shoots right-footed into the wall. And have we got an offside? I don't know what's happened there. If Piru was offside for the shot, what a complete waste that was. Because even if he'd slung it in the top corner there, if he'd been in the keeper's line of sight there, would have been chalked off, wouldn't it? Right, here's a restart. Trafford goes long down the ground looking for Flem. An easy header for Rodon. Out it goes. Beautifully poised this. Lovely, lovely level of tension about it as well, isn't there? Sky have finally gone back to the wide shot after a nice tight shot of Joe Rothwell's face there. He's out of the team for this one. Tanaka and Gruev. Gruev, now he's fit and he's been dripped back in. He's ready to go. And ultimately, you think it's Ampadu and Gruev with Strauch and Rodon at centre-back, but Leeds just can't get those guys on the pitch together, can they? Aronson drives forward. Aronson out to the wing. Solomon. Byram cross blocked. Oh, it's going to fall to the edge of the box. Tanaka's got a lot of time. Tanaka knocks it on Bogle. Bogle onto the left foot, drills the shot over the bar. It's really poor from Jaden Bogle. Thoughts on Pompey Burnley Saturday? Hard old game for Pompey, Caden, but they're very good at home. Didn't have a Quadwo bar comms mention on my bingo card. Do we need one? There's always a need for one, isn't it? Richard, your legend, hoping for a Burnley win. It would certainly tighten things up at the top, wouldn't it? A Leeds win would be a big statement, wouldn't it? 6-point gap goes in if Leeds can get the win. Liam, Luton lost 11 away in the row and we've got them at home next. I've seen this script before. Yeah, I'll repeat it. I'm not going to blame it all on Luton, but the first half of Luton Millwall was pathetic. It was so bad on Saturday. In fact, it was so bad we actually started enjoying how bad it was. You know, when the world just eats itself and you go full circle. This, my friends, is a lot higher quality, let's just say already, between these two parachute teams. That's bounced nicely for Solomon. He's not going to be offside. I don't know why they're appealing because it came off a Burnley leg. Phase restarts there. Piru inside the box, tries to sort his feet out, given away. Leeds have come into it now after Burnley were the better side in the first 3-4 minutes. Ian, welcome in the chat. Welcome, everybody, for this gigantic game of the season, arguably, so far, in terms of context and what we know and where we're going. And I've got to say, the Leeds and Burnley fans will probably be pleased. Tick this one off. Don't have to face one another. You're always looking for those head-to-heads, aren't you, as you go into the run-in? Believe Sheffield United will still have to go to Burnley. Leeds will still have to go to Sheffield United, I think I'm right to say. Sunderland will still have to go to Leeds, yes. So I think this is the first one we're doubling up on, isn't it? I think Sunderland played Sheffield United twice, haven't they? One of those weird ones where they played twice close together either side of Christmas, if I'm right. A win apiece, wasn't it? Tanaka. Bogle on the right wing. Bogle feed inside. James could have left that. Aronson could have taken that into the box. Alas, no. Leeds on top at the moment. Fleming wins a foul there, does he? Yeah. Off Tanaka. Burnley would do well to just stand on this. Try and get a little bit of control back that they had in the first 3-4 minutes of this game. There's that diag again to Anthony. He plays that so well, doesn't he, Anthony? Goes 1v1 with Byram. He's into the box as well. Roberts back to Anthony. Stays onside. Anthony crosses right-footed. Oh, headed chance. Fleming, first chance of the game for Burnley. Best chance of the game, I would say. Tries to over-end... Wait, he doesn't try to over-engineer the header. He does over-engineer the header. He's going for power, direction, trying to head it down. There's not much on the cross. Appealed for a corner there, but it didn't actually touch Bogle on the way through. Cross just needed a bit more pace on it. Fleming couldn't do a lot else. But best chance of the game, that one, nonetheless, given that Pirou's shot was a bit further out and he pretty much had someone standing on him when he hit the shot. Steve, feels like a pretty significant game, doesn't it? Very, very much so. The big switch. Humphreys, Chelsea loanee. Laurent. Switch of play from Esteve. Again, looking for Anthony. Byram starting to get tuned into that one now. Pinched it off him twice in a row there. Pirou, nice little knock off to Aronson. Aronson looks after it, gets it to Rodon. Leeds still looking good control-wise here. Solomon. Gruev knocks it back to him. Tanaka. Burnley defensive shape, you can see there. Clear as day. 4-4-F in 2 without the ball. Brownhill just edged up there with Fleming and a nice tight 2 banks of 4. Nicely organised under Scott Parker. And that ball has gone out of play. Unforced error really down the left-hand side for Leeds. Egan Riley, Brownhill. Trying to play through the press here. Done all right, actually. Got it out to Humphreys on the left wing. It's turned over, though. Although they've managed to win the throw-in. Anthony. Roberts. And Esteve goes back in to Trafford. Ben, whatever happens to Leeds, reckon Tanaka will play in the Premier League this season. He's been very, very decent. And if Burnley get promoted and they sack Scott Parker, does Sean Dyche return happen in your opinion? I'm not sure, but it sounds very tough on Scott Parker, but it sounds like quite an interesting idea, doesn't it? Ben, can you see Rashford joining one of the Championship top 6 teams? No, he's going to be going abroad. NT. Dave, Rangers last 2 games, Burnley at home, Sunderland away. Oof. They could have a say in the autos. Remember, it could be done by then. Sometimes the big games are at Easter, aren't they? Not actually on rounds 45 and 46, because sometimes by the time you get to round 45, 46, there's not a lot can be done about whatever is happening. Easter's the time, isn't it? Particularly the double header. We love it. Foster. Cullen. Esteve, Egan Riley. Burnley getting some possession back on the board now. Esteve goes home to James Trafford. Is there anything more disappointing than making a coffee, forgetting you've made it, and then it's just a little bit like lukewarm? And you still drink it, don't you? And you just want that red hot coffee. That's just happened to me beforehand, so I'm going to indulge myself in another one at half-time. Great question there by N. You can answer that. Best dribbler in the Championship. Go on, get your nominations in there. as everyone picks a player that plays for the team they support. Try not to do that, guys. Open your eyes up. Look at the other 23 teams. As a wise man once said, please leave your bias at the door. I'm not microwaving my coffee. I'm not doing it. Easter is later this year. Oh, that might make a difference, actually, Liam. Fair point. 43 and 44. There you go, Ben. Bingo. Jack Vertadza from a Watford fan. Doak or Solomon? Yeah, Doak's quite a good shout, isn't it? He's good fun. I always think with dribbling, I like to look see who's made the most attempts rather than the most completion. That's a good shout, Tom Fellows. Yeah, good shout, that one. West Brom winger. He always sticks a good cross on the end of his dribbles as well, doesn't he? Rodon. Tanaka. Must be so fun playing that position where you just drop a metre behind the two centre-backs and you can see the whole pitch ahead of you. The quarterback spot. Gruev. Bogle. Rodon. Ampadu. Solomon. Tanaka. It's nice work from Leeds. It's moving Burnley around. It's all about control between these two, isn't it? James off the right. Bogle. Oh, Bogle inside. It's opened up and driven across the box by James. It's really bobbly. I wonder if the bobble happens before he hits it or whether he just gets a dodgy contact. Really good from Leeds, I've got to say. Nice build-up. Bogle fizzes it in. And yeah, I mean, James has been really good. Just lack of quality there. Jess rushes it, doesn't he? Kicks it into the ground, bobbling across the box. Although sometimes those bobbly ones, very hard to save, aren't they? If they're anywhere near the corner. And Solomon. Good spell this from Leeds. Byram, Solomon. That must have been close to offside, mustn't it? Gruev. Loads of possession here for Leeds. Tanaka. Aronson. Back to Tanaka off Pirro, I think. Was it Byram who's got forward and narrow? Impressive. Gruev. Aronson. Blocked out. And Burnley, can they clear their lines now? Anthony gets the deflection on the ball up the line. Sainz has to be up there as one of the best dribblers. Is Scott Twine the best free kick taker in the Championship? I doubt there's anyone who scored more free kicks. Right, throw in Burnley, right back area, Roberts. Tanaka is robbed there. And here goes Anthony. Tried to run Solomon there. Just couldn't get it out of his feet. Byron with the throw. Will I do a watch along of Borough Sunderland? Is that the one that's on the Monday night, Robert? If so, yes. Obviously, have to run that by HQ, but I'd like to. Be a good game that, won't it? Borough Sunderland. We did the reverse game where Das Wonder Kid Chris Riggs scored a backheel goal, didn't he? Love a backheel goal. 20 gone. Game of chess, this one. I think Leeds are edging it now, even though you'd argue Fleming's chance was the best of the game, wasn't it? The header. Just wasn't enough fizz on the cross. And he tried to head it down into the ground, get the power, and he just lost all kind of sort of accuracy and purchase on the header, didn't he? Anthony. Egan Riley. Should ours re-sign Tarab on a free? I think, Dave, if Tarab is ever in the question, the answer is normally yes, isn't it? Just for the streets won't forget. The big one forward for Anthony to chase. Knocked out a play by Byram, who's playing Anthony all right after a few early balls over to him. Here's Brownhill, bit of space in midfield. Humphreys crossing position, swings it in from deep. Fleming rises. Not bad effort. Good cross. We found with Fleming in that game we covered Burnley-Plymouth, did actually stick the ball into the box for a few headers for him, actually. Would have had to have been a hell of a header there. Some Joe Jordan, Tim Cahill, Jurgen Klinsmann action needed there. John Walk, always worth a mention. Bogle clips that into the front. Two passing sides, but it's nice to see both have gone into the front man quickly on occasion here. Here comes Foster. Foster plays it to Humphreys. Corner of the box. Cross comes in. Really good cross, actually. Great header out by Ampadu. It's dropped down to Foster. Good seeing this for Burnley. Anthony. Egan Riley. Anthony. Little clever ball in, but Leeds get a foot in and try and counter, but it's turned straight back over. And Burnley want to ramp the pressure up. There's a little slide in looking for Laurent, who cannot control it. As we reach the midway point in the first half, well, we do in about 10 seconds. Here comes Bogle. Bogle is fouled by Foster in a silly position. 52-48 on the possession in favour of Leeds. 3 shots to 2 in favour of Leeds. XG 0.21 to 0.14 in favour of Leeds, which meets my eye test that they're just kind of edging it. Louis Barry set to join Hull. He has been an absolute baller for Stockport, hasn't he, Barry? We had him on loan at Ipswich, but that was when they signed 26 players or whatever in one window and rejigged the squad and he couldn't get near the team. Bless him. But yeah, he's a player, isn't he? Louis Barry. Right, this time I think Gruev's going to get the call to take this free kick and swing it in towards goal with his left foot. No, Solomon right foot outswinger, headed clear. Volley goalwards by James. Spoons up in the air. Offside flag stays down. Look like there's a couple of them off there. Lob back up again. That's going to go through to James Trafford. And that's a horrible giveaway by Humphreys Edge. Played it straight back to Bogle. And having defended the corner, immediately Burnley have ceded possession back to Leeds United. Gruev, Tanaka, Bogle, Tanaka. Complete chalk and cheese from Millwall Luton on Saturday lunchtime, this, isn't it? Ball's barely left the deck. So much quality in these two teams. And that's not a dig at Luton or Millwall, but just needs must. And it was a bit grotty, wasn't it? Paul, what do I think about Al Hamadi going to Stoke? Hope he gets his confidence back. Yeah, definitely. Get him on the pitch, scoring some goals. Just struggled a bit with Ipswich in the Premier League, but has jumped up from Wimbledon like, God, less than, well, this time last year he was at Wimbledon still, wasn't he? And in January. all the way up from the League Two to the Premier League in double quick time. Meslier, big boot forward by him, headed back by Egan Riley. Grueff wins the header, and it's knocked out to Anthony, whose first touch is excellent. Gets all kind of balls fired at him from all different angles on that right wing and seems to take them in one touch. However they arrive at him. The great Dennis Bergkamp used to say, "Don't worry about how the pass arrives at me. I will control it." No, I'm not comparing Jayden Anthony and Dennis Bergkamp. It's good to mention Dennis Bergkamp, isn't it? Hey, what a player. A ballet dancer of a footballer. Liam, Burnley is such a well-drilled team. You can see why they've conceded 9 goals. Yeah, I think as well, Liam, the hard cam being so high and looking down at Burnley, you can see the shapes as well, can't you? Which is always a good intimation of how well, excuse me, a team is drilled. Jay, evening, mate. Have I missed much? Not in terms of action, but it's been a high-quality first 25 minutes in terms of intensity and feeling out and both sides trying to get control in this game. There's a giveaway, though. Here's Tanaka. Tanaka knocks it into Solomon. Tanaka. Tanaka switches it out to Bogle. Control. Bogle, little knock inside. Tanaka. Rodon. Nice ball, Rodon. Bogle crossing position, blocked by Humphreys. And to the comment from, well, there's another one down there from Brian, well-organised Burnley defence. It very, very much is, because you see Leeds sometimes, they just rip straight through the middle of teams. And you ain't going to do that against this Burnley defence, are you? Too tricky. Got to find a different way, Leeds. But they're capable. Burnley are capable of stopping them. And there's the irresistible force and the movable object for you. Oh, and it goes to the near post. It's going to break for Bogle. Bogle deep in the box. Bogle's cross deflected. Oh, important header on the back stick by Roberts. He had to stand and watch it while Sam Byram was behind him, hoping he could just head it into the net. It's that touch there from Brownhill just dropped straight for Bogle. Cross could have gone anywhere. It's good defending by Roberts. You talk about the organisation, but you have to, however well organised you are, there's always chaos in football. You have to do the head it, kick it stuff. Solomon, corner short, crossed in, headed out by Fleming. Aronson cushions down. Leeds can go again here. Bogle clips that over. That's dreadful from Bogle. As I'm praising the quality of this game, just let it slip there, Bogle. Daniel Farker looks to the heavens, thinking, why you want to put the ball there? Don't do that. What do I think of Hamza Chowdhury going to Sheffield United? All I can remember about Hamza Chowdhury, what was that game Leicester played in the back end of last season when they were going for the title and they got absolutely murdered? Who was it against? I can't remember who it was against, like Cardiff or something like that. And Hamza Chowdhury played like Superman and made about 8 last-ditch tackles. He turned into Ashley Cole for the game, didn't he? And cleared 3 off the line. Can anyone remember who that game was against? Because they went to Leicester, who were going to go on to win the title, and played really well. Who was that? Someone remind me there. Chowdhury was amazing in that game. Who was that against? Somebody in the chat. Can't remember. I think we did it as a watch-along, actually. So I should bloody be able to remember. 28:52 on the clock. 0-0. I think you're right, Annie. I think he's right. It's West Brom, wasn't it? West Brom played really well. Literally could have won the game 3-0. And I think Leicester ended up winning, didn't they? And Chowdhury was like the most obvious man of the match shout you've ever seen. It was brilliant. Egan Riley. Laurent in the centre circle. Burnley trying to get a little bit of control back. I think I've still got Leeds on points. But this is beautifully poised. It's exactly how we expect it to be, isn't it? Fleming. Esteve. Egan Riley. Anthony, he's always the outball, Anthony, isn't he? It's a job for Solomon to do covering Byram tonight. If he falls asleep, we know Anthony will punish them. It's a corner for Burnley. No, it's not. It's a free kick. Why is he giving a free kick? I don't know. Does anybody know, to Tom's point, what the fewest goals conceded are? Solomon needs to wind his neck in here now because he's got booked as well. Needs to just cool it down a little bit. You know, when players lose their heads, they're liable to do something silly. Corner or free kick taken short. Here's Roberts, edge of the box blocked, opened up for a second. Anthony's going to keep that in. No, he's not, actually. Throw in Leeds, left back area, 0-0. Tanaka, Byram, Ampadu. Horrible ball by Ampadu. I don't know what he's trying there. I was going to say he's trying to, and look at the picture, and it's like, I don't know, just gave the ball away. But he gave it away in a relatively safe area. He's going to get another go here. Ampadu. Rodon. Gruev. Ampadu. Rodon. Bogle. Fizzed up the line. Bogle sprints away. Good play by Bogle. It's a bit of a lucky bounce. Knocks it in the front. Piru can't control it. It's not sticking with Piru, is it? It's back with Rodon again. He goes home to Melier and Leeds trying to keep control of this one. Still 52-48 on the possession in favour of Leeds. Shot count up 4-2. Bogle. Rodon to Tanaka. There we go. Watford fewest conceded in the Championship season, 30. Burnley on 9. So Burnley could concede a goal, 1 goal in all of their remaining games and still break the record, right? Yeah, got Chelsea 15 in the Pro. That'd be 38 games, wouldn't it? But yeah, ridiculous. Did Arsenal do, or I think Arsenal might have done 16 under Wenger. Probably close under George Graham. Liverpool in late 70s did 16 as well, didn't they? That was in a 42 game league, that one as well. Incredible. Preston 05-06. Is that David Moyes? And talk to me about David Moyes at the moment. David Moyes. Estev out to Humphreys. I quite like how both of these sides, they take the same approach, don't they? They're like, okay, we're going to be really patient. We're going to make you work hard to get the ball back. If that means we're going to knock it about the back four for 45 seconds, try and work the angle, we will, because we want to build up control. And then there's the challenge of actually doing it, as Burnley try and do it and Leeds pinch it off them. Piru, Solomon on the left wing wants to go on his right foot. He's blocked out in the end, but he's won a corner for Leeds. Billy Davies. Who would have thunk he would get a mention, hey? Similar situation to last season. Top 4 out of bounds. Yeah, we had a gap last season, didn't we, with the top 4? I accept the comparison, Steve. Gruev crosses left-footed from the corner. Nobody touches it. James. We were always friends. Oh, James knocks it in. Peru, a little bit of space. Peru looks after the ball. Where's he going? Tries to win a foul. That's poor from Peru. It needs to stick a bit better. I know he's not there as a hold-up guy, target man, but when he does get it, he's got to look after it a little bit better. Have you heard about Real Bedford and Bedford Towns? But no, I have not. But I do regularly drive past Bedford Town on it's the A421. You can see the stadium, can't you? Is that Bedford Town? In fact, I think Enid went to a birthday party there as well. Tom, do I think Saints will break Derby's record in the Premier League? I hope not. Nobody wants to take that record, do they? My God. We're still waiting for Ipswich's 9-0 to get beaten. Just professional football teams refuse to score 10 against other professional football teams, don't they? Ampadu. Aronson knocks it back to him. Tanaka. Permanently in between the two centre-backs when Leeds are building. Fed him from Bogle to Piru. Oh, he nearly helped it onto Aronson there. That's better from Piru. Well, it's better. He went first time then. He didn't even try and hold it, did he? Bogle throws in. Aronson. Ampadu. Tanaka, a little lift over the top to Bogle. Too clever by half. Out of play it goes. Turned over. Someone was asking about who is it tomorrow? Rearranged Millwall Pompey. No, I'm not covering that. I'm actually working on Friday night as well. If anybody is in the Nottinghamshire area, I will be at the Diamond in Sutton in Ashfield, which is a great little club, actually. First show of the year with that, so 90s, on Friday night. Let me know if you fancy a gig. We'll hook you up. But what that does mean is I won't be covering whoever Sky just put up there, Blackburn and... Who's playing on Friday night? I can't remember. Blackburn and someone. Help me out. Come on, chat. Go. There's Alan Pace, the Burnley chairman, who would like very much his team back in the Premier League, as all owners would. Preston, thank you. We won't be watching it. We'll try and do one of the Saturday lunchtimes with that being the case. Who's on TV on Saturday lunchtime, guys? That may be the next watch-along. But do not worry, Sam Parkin will be here tomorrow for the Championship check-in and the predictions on Wednesday. We'll get Mikey back as well, hopefully for Friday. And we should be free to have a free video on Thursday. Whatever you guys want, essentially. We'll try and find a nice topic to talk about. Bogle. Oh, James, nice lift. Is Byram onside? Byram's knocked off his feet. He looked offside to me. But then, of course, you'd have a look and think, did he get knocked off his feet in the penalty box there? Possibly both. Plymouth West Brom. Thank you for doing my homework for me. Is that the main Sky match? Sounds good to me. We'll aim for that on Saturday, and then I'll just shut my eyes for Ipswich Southampton. Ampadu. Rodon back to Ampadu. Tanaka. He's trying to pull Burnley onto them, aren't they? Space them out a little bit. Laurent immediately isn't having that and drops back off. Gruev. Rodon. Peru comes short from the 9. Rodon. Oh, nice ball again. Rodon into Bogle. You almost feel the space in between the two patterns of play. It's Bogle, isn't it? He's the guy that's managed to get on the ball in really good positions. Byron was not offside, which then begs the question, did Anthony foul him? Not sure he did, actually. He takes his arm away in good time, throws his hands up. Looks like a racing incident to me. So my take on that, no offside, no penalty. Play on. When I do 90s gigs, do you do any Pop Will Eat Itself? No. Lots of we play the big hits, put it that way. Oh, that's broken edge of the box, driven on the half volley by Fleming. He tries to swing and hit that dipping volley, but completely gets it wrong. Yeah, his body shape's all wrong, isn't it? I need to wrap his foot around that. No cigar. Meslier with the restart. Waves his centre-backs up. He's going to kick it long, left-footed, into the night sky. Headed forward to Fleming. And it's back with Meslier. The plan is for myself and Matt SB to collaborate for Coventry versus Ipswich. We'll see what we can scheme for that. We are planning to be there. But they're only ever plans when you have a 3-year-old child. 4 shots apiece. 56-44 on the possession in favour of Leeds United. Throw in for Burnley down the right. Tossed into Egan Riley in his own half. Esteve. Humphreys to Laurent. Good press by Leeds. And they've gone home to Trafford. Sat in the home end. Yeah, wherever Matt gets me a ticket, to be honest. Talking to children, how is Enid? She's good, Ian. We're having less issues with sleep at the moment, which is nice. Grove. Byram. Ampadu. Rodon. Back to Ampadu. Speaking of shots in this game, there been any on target? No. 0 shots on target in the first half. It's going to take something, isn't it? Feels like a moment. will win the match. Daniel Farker looking a bit frustrated there, the Leeds manager. Although it looks as though we are going to be level going into half time. And I doubt there'll be much stoppage time. Did anyone get hurt in this first half? I don't think they did they? Would I ever collaborate with Jack from TNC again? Yeah, of course. Yeah, love Jack. Yeah, big fan. Here comes Aronson trying to get down the right. Good carry that. Esteve gets across and makes the tackle. 1 minute of stoppage time. A worldie or a corner to win this? Well, I agree with that. Two well-organised sides give nothing away. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Two good sides cancelling one another out very much. And I mean that in a positive way. It's just a high standard. These teams are just good and hard to win against, aren't they? Big throwing down the line from Bogle, and that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Burnley 0, Leeds 0. Very, very tense, very, very tight. Barely a chance, really. No shots on target, although Joel Piroux early in the game, it was Leeds counter, wasn't it? And his shot inside the box was blocked out pretty much at source. Ziam Fleming had that header. That's about the size of it, isn't it? It's otherwise been both sides trying to work each other, trying to find space. There's been space for Bogle when he's come forward down the right-hand side for Leeds. And the ball on for Burnley has been to Jaden Anthony, but Sam Byram's played him quite well. Technically, if you're a football coach, you'd probably really, really enjoy this game. But obviously, us football fans, we like chances, we like goals, but it is very high standard in terms of, obviously we've got that Luton Millwall first half to compare it to from Saturday, where there was never 3 passes completed all game and, just blood and thunder. And, we like that in the Championship sometimes, but this feels very, very different, doesn't it? Let me just give you the final numbers for the first half, although they were hovering around the same thing. Leeds edged the possession 55-45 on the percent. 0.22 to 0.19 on the XG in favour of Leeds. 4 shots a piece. But we always try and say, what is the key stat? The key stat is 0 shots on target in the game. And that is for either side. So I agree with the chat there, Whale Shark, Ian, etc., etc. Is it a set play? Is it a mistake? Is it a deflection? Is it someone? We'd love it to be someone smashing one in the top corner, but I have to say, in these tight games, it's not normally like that. It is normally a deflection, or someone makes some kind of error and that's it. And once that goal's gone in, you're like, no, done, game over. It's a 1-0 win. Whoever scores the first goal, massive, isn't it, in this game? It's massive in every game, isn't it? But just feels like there's not going to be more than 1 goal in this game. And whoever gets it first probably has the capacity to shut out the other team, given how kind of concerned both sides are about being sort of caught and how tight they are being at the back. By the way, I was saying the draw through the weekend has become less of a problem, I think, for both sides since Sheffield United lost at home to Hull and Sunderland drew at home to Plymouth. So if it does end in a draw, because you would have been worried if you're a Leeds fan or if you're a Burnley fan that a draw would be a problem. I.e., you'd be giving up 2 points to both Sheffield United and Sunderland, but that's not an issue anymore, given those surprise results at Bramall Lane and at Stadium of Light. So if it does end 0-0, it will be Leeds 60, Sheffield United 58, Burnley 57, and Sunderland 55. And as I've mentioned, it would be that, as well as the idea that Leeds and Burnley have ticked off the games against each other. And I believe Sunderland and Sheffield United, smarten me up in the chat, Sunderland and Sheffield United have also ticked off the games against each other. So you then start to be looking at Burnley. Someone will tell me in the chat what the remaining head-to-heads are. In fact, maybe as I take my 5-minute break, someone could look it up and find out the final head-to-heads, because that gets really, really important. Good game, very evenly matched. I am going to take 5, grab a decaffeinated coffee so I don't stay up all night on the caffeine. You do the same. Grab yourself a drink, head off for a minute or two, and I will see you back in 5 minutes. If anyone can look up the remaining head-to-heads between the top 4, that would be lovely. Do my homework for me. Otherwise, we will be back in 5 minutes. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. Halftime, Burnley 0, Leeds 0. Nicely poised here in the EFL Championship. Is there going to be that one big moment in the second half? Will someone smash one in the top corner and win the game for either of these sides? Or more likely, will there be a corner or a deflection or a mistake or just a bog standard forced over the goal line? And that will make all the difference. I sense it might be like that if it's not going to be 0-0. Super, super tight in this one. Quick couple of plugs before get some questions in before we get to those. Couple of people asking about the That's So 90s show that I am performing with. You can come and see us there. Big one actually at the Colchester Mercury Theatre. That's on February the 20th. There I am in a beautiful white fur East 17 coat. How about that? Come and relive the halcyon days of the 1990s if you're Essex way. But we're also I'm performing in the show. So we're in Nottinghamshire on this Friday, actually, January 31st. We'll be in Eastleigh down south, February 22nd. We will be in Wolverhampton on March the 8th. Leicestershire, March the 14th. Guiseley Theatre, Leeds, April the 4th. And then we'll be up in Scotland for 3 days during May as well. Shows through the summer as well. Check that out if you... I know you're all wonderfully supporting the YouTube work here, but that's the other part of my life. If you want to support that, then please do come and see the show. And can we keep the stream moving? Get your questions in. But it's a big help if you can hit the thumbs up button. We'll hit a like spike here. If you can hit the thumbs up, if someone can give me a running total as well, that'd be great. Let's go to a like spike. Thank you so much for your support as ever. You can support the channel and the show just by interacting, like, comment, subscribe. You can donate. It'll always be free. So donations are optional, of course. You can donate via Super Chat. You can join up on YouTube or Patreon. I would recommend joining up on YouTube as a member. And then you also can grab yourself early access to all of our pre-recorded videos here on the channel. It'll always be free to see the main bulk of stuff, but it does help me out massively. People think YouTubers wear silk pajamas. Maybe with 1 million subscribers they do, but those that cover the EFL Championship have to work damn hard for every penny they can out of it. And we love it, but we do need your help into the bargain. Let's have a look at some comments. Leeds edging it slightly. Yeah, probably just on points, but it's fag paper between the two. 126 likes. Wow. We're normally super, super happy. And if we're over 100. So, yeah, tremendous. David, didn't know about the Guiseley Fit. Well, come and see us, David. Here, when is that? Simon Ricks, how is that not a penalty? I think you need to flip the question. I always think if you're asking how is that not a penalty, it's probably not a penalty because you don't have a good argument for actually being a penalty. So you're asking how is it? I just don't think it's a foul if you're talking about. I think you're looking for something maybe if you're I'm assuming, Simon, you're a Leeds fan. If you're saying you're framing it in that way, how is that not a penalty? So you're probably looking for something to benefit your team, and it's a quiet game as well in terms of action. But I don't think it's foul. I just think it's two players running into each other in the box. That's my humble opinion on it. And all opinions are available, but let's try and talk. I always try and say to people, if you're having a conversation, and it's great to be emotional, and it's great to be tribal, and it's great to be partisan, but if you're speaking football fan, partisan, tribal, emotional language, you're not speaking the same language as me. That's an issue with the communication. So we can always try and discuss decisions, but if your outlook is based on emotion and mine's not, that's kind of like I don't know, you're speaking Swahili and I'm speaking to, I don't know, I'm speaking English, but there you go. Not one is worse than the other. But we're emotion is the lifeblood of football. But when you get someone doing logic balance and someone doing emotion, it doesn't work. You need two emotional people or two logic balance people to have the conversation. I was a Premier League podcaster last night. I was that good, Richard, wasn't I? I deserved my £100 million TV money a year. How about that? Right. Players coming out for the second half. Here comes Scott Parker. Let's run through the teams quickly. 0-0, but very nicely poised for someone to win the game. For Burnley, Trafford, Roberts, Humphreys, Astaire, Vegan, Riley, Cullen, Laurent, Foster, Brownhill, Anthony, Fleming. For Leeds, Meslier, Bogle, Rodon, Ampadu, Byram, Tanaka, Gruev, James, Aronson, Solomon, Peru. You get very good at reading out entire teams in one breath when you do this gig. I tell you. And we are about to get off and running in the second half. In fact, we are off and running. Burnley 0, Leeds 0. The clock should appear any second. And Bogle goes down, holding his nose. Three of us have given the heads. I'll keep Ben. Can you copy and paste them so I can find them quickly? Thank you. Thank you so much. I think Leeds would have been upset if it was a penalty given against them. This is where we have to get the differentiation between, are we looking at a foul or are we talking emotionally? Because you can't judge a foul on if you would have been upset if it was given against your team, because you're putting into the fact that it's your team and you don't like penalties getting given against your team. We just need to talk about, was it a foul or was it not? It just wasn't a foul, was it? The two players just ran into each other, basically, and Anthony throws his arms up, Byram goes down, and Byram doesn't even appeal it. I just don't think it was a foul, and if it's not a foul, it's not a penalty, in my humble opinion. Other opinions are available. What am I calling Matt at the moment? Is he the magnificent? He's the marvellous Matt SB. Given Sunderland and Sheffield United's results, does the reward of winning this game outweigh the risk of losing it? No, I think you're right the other way. The risk of losing it outweighs the reward of winning it. What do you gain? It's all about the head-to-head between the two. I suppose from a Leeds point of view, though, they did give up a defeat, didn't they, at Ellen Road to Burnley. So they would like very much in terms of those head-to-head terms. But all the Leeds fans will remind me, Leeds took 6 points off Ipswich last year and 6 points off Leicester and finished below both of them. So sometimes it's not even about the head-to-heads. It's about what you do across the rest of the fixtures against the other 22 teams. Try reading the Greek national team in one breath. Lopodopoulos, lots of osses and Popolopoulos. Who's the best Greek player ever? In the chat with that one. Here comes Anthony trying to get down the right-hand side. Second half just hasn't got going yet. Thank you, Ben. Right, there your head-to-heads. Leeds, Sunderland, Sheffield United, Burnley. Oh, sorry, Leeds, Sunderland. What's the Sheffield United one there? Is that against anybody there? Burnley, Sheffield United. One of them's quite late there, 21st of April there. Burnley, Sheffield United. Thank you, guys. Sheffield United, Leeds, that one was in the middle. So there's still 3 remaining. We love to see it, hey? King Clarets, eh? George Baldock, yeah, sad, isn't it? He's gone. Deary me. George Baldock saw him score a great goal for Sheffield United at Carrow Road, in fact, at Norwich. Such a shame, eh? James Trafford closed down, boots the ball up in the sky. It's fed right down the middle of the pitch. Oh, is that going to break for Peru? No. See, that's the type of goal you could get in this game. Ball goes forward, someone hoofs it down the ground, someone lets it bounce, someone runs in, someone gets in someone's way, and the ball rolls through and ends up someone with a free shot on goal. Do you know what I mean? It feels like that's how it's going to be settled. Esteve, poor. Gives it away to Tanaka. Peru can't get it back to Tanaka. It was a sloppy start to this half, isn't it? And as soon as I say that, Laurent, unforced error. Out of play, trying to find Lyle Foster. Throwing Leeds. Bogle to take. Bogle launches it forward, flicked on by Dan James. And easily gathered by James Trafford. Second half, not really got going yet. First half was kind of, pumping from the beginning in terms of the pressing and the intensity. Not yet in the second half. Humphreys hoiks that forward. Fleming, nice take. Foster trying to make the run inside Rodon. Looks like a foul that. Shoved him in the back. Gives away quite a few fouls, doesn't he? Bet the players are feeling the tension as well. Yeah, very much so. So Kevin Lisby mentioned. I remember Kevin Lisby scoring a brilliant goal for Charlton at Ipswich once. Ben, you think Cardiff's going to do what Coventry did and climb the table? Just get away from the bottom if you're Cardiff first, I think is the thing. It's just been a bit streaky, Cardiff, haven't they? When Ritza came in, good, then bad, then good. So you do worry. You know what the next part of that pattern is, but what they do have is a goal scorer with Robinson as well, which not many teams, if any of them, down the bottom will have. Is this a case of both teams playing possibly when we get to 60, 65? The subs can make a difference, though, can't they? And there's so much quality in these two squads, isn't there? That's something we hadn't mentioned about a possible winner. It might be a substitute. It might be a player who is not yet in the game. Starters and finishers, right? Both teams sloppy in possession this half. Yeah, surprising for both of them, actually. Not becoming of either when they're normally so neat and tidy, these two. It'll settle, I'm sure. As we come up 52, pretty nondescript second half thus far. Oh, horrible back pass there for Trafford. He's done really well with that. Didn't want to clear it with his left foot, but he did in the end. Leeds aren't able to scoop it back up and, push on and hem Burnley in. Anthony tries to hold up. Grueff draws the foul there. Good play by Grueff there. Just shifted the ball from his right foot to his left foot, and he knew the tackle was coming, and he got out of the way and drew the foul there. Took one for the team. Well played. Big thank you earlier in the show to Cara, Ben, and Liking Trash for the super chats. Really, really appreciate your support. Oh, that's going through the middle. Solomon was arriving from the left wing, coming inside. Egan Riley got the clearance. Nearly caught them out, didn't they? Byram throw-in. Back to Ampadu. Grueff. Not round the corner from Solomon. On the Burnley subs appealing for the throw-in. Solomon continues. Chance to cross right footed. Can he swing this one over? No. Nice reverse ball. Nice idea, that. That might be how you play through, but obviously Burnley's so good defensively, aren't they? Is that right? 9-Dart Davies, 10 hours without conceding. Absurdly good defensively. Blades confirm. Hamza Chowdhury. They're stocking up nicely, aren't they? What do I think of Matt Grimes' transfer request? Not good news for Swansea, who are struggling anyway. And he's the captain, isn't he, Grimes? Certainly senior player there, always in the team. Has been for years. Must have been there with Graham Potter and Stevie Cooper. Brownhill. Around the back four and back to Trafford. Burnley pass. Leeds press. No quarter given. Rodon header away to Naka. Space for Bogle. There always seems to be space for Bogle, doesn't there? Certainly was in the first half. Rodon to Ampadu. To Tanaka. Gruev. We've seen this picture before. Tanaka on the ball. Burnley in formation. Leeds basically told, come on. Can you play through this? Good luck. Rodon to Melier back home. Leeds edged the possession in the first half. They are now starting to do the same in the second half. I think it's 55-45 in the first half. I stand corrected. It's actually 61 Burnley in the second half, but last couple of minutes have picked up in terms of Leeds getting on the ball. I must have missed Burnley having it for the previous 5 minutes, right? Swansea made a few defensive mistakes. You're telling me, Ian. You must have been loving that, mate. You down there at Carrow. Late double penalty drama like the Sunderland game. Well, that could be it as well. Could be a penalty wins the game, right? We need something, guys. It would be a seismic goal, though, wouldn't it? If anyone can score. Ampadu to Rodon. Rodon, oh, he's put too much on that. The angle was really nice. He just overcooked it, didn't he? And I say this whenever Dan James gets a pass like that. Dan James is bloody quick. He's not that bloody quick, though. Oh, there's one into the channel for Solomon. Is he onside? Yes, indeed. Byram. Leeds starting to get on top here in this second half. That's what happened in the first half, to be fair. Gruev, Ampadu. Gruev again. Solomon, a runner into the box. Solomon crosses. Headed out. Is he going to fall for Bogle? Bogle hits the shot. Good save, Trafford. He definitely got a hand on that, didn't he? Bogle's running back. Offside flag up. It's good from Leeds. We've seen Leeds build up pressure in this game and not really make a chance. There's a good few players in the box here. Because Piru was offside. It's the right decision, isn't it? Bogle then in on the left foot on the volley. Good from Solomon. Made a good run. Forced the issue, clipped the cross in, but Piru's not had a great game, has he? In this one, the Leeds playing number 9 for Leeds, wearing number 10. You really want an ice cold striker who's just going to win you the game here. Have one touch and score, basically, don't you? But Piru's tried to join in a few times. He just got caught offside there. Close for Leeds in DDO. Might have the ball, but not doing much with it from Leeds. Probably. I mean, you've got to give Burnley some credit there, Mike, in the chat. So hard to break down, aren't they? I know they don't normally come under this much pressure. Essentially, if you believe the best team is at the top of the league, then they're playing the best team in the league here, aren't they? Tanaka. Laurent just nicks behind him. They want a foul. I actually didn't think that was a foul. Looked like he just nicked in there. And Tanaka kind of kicked against him and went down. That is a foul, though, and that's probably going to be a yellow card for Dan James. The Burnley players are trying to hype it up by surrounding the referee, which they should not be doing. Yellow card is going to be out for Dan James. There was a booking in the first half for STALEMATE, wasn't there? For dissent. And yeah, James just took out Egan Riley, who was breaking clear. A tactical foul by Dan James. That's 2 Leeds players in the book. I hate to say it, doesn't feel like a red card would change this game massively, does it? So even and on edge, and with kind of defences on top, isn't it? Esteve. Laurent to Cullen. And they are matching each other up tactically as well. Cullen doing the same thing as Tanaka did, which kind of then gives you a line of 3 at the back, doesn't it? With the fullbacks forward, you have 2 centre-backs, centre midfielder dropped in here. Then you have your 2 wide fullbacks and your other midfielder making another line of 3. And both sides are doing that, essentially. Oh, Paul, don't tempt fate there, mate, from a Leeds persuasion. No red cards yet this season. Feels like a moment of magic, penalty, massive howler, all of the above, substitute, deflection, you name it. One moment in time. Let's not sing the next line of that song. Goes all high, doesn't it? Meslier clears left-footed. Oh, is that going to run through for Solomon? Solomon in behind, into the box. Can he work Egan Riley? No, he can't. Good defending. We talked about someone will just boot the ball forward and it'll be a 1v1. That could have been it. It's poor from Egan Riley initially. Gets caught out. But very Sol Campbell-esque there. May have been in the wrong position to begin with, but he was bloody quick to get back into the right position. Rodon. Tanaka. Tanaka crosses right foot. It's a lovely ball. Or is it going to fall all the way through? Do you know what? I think if Aronson didn't touch that, it would have opened up for Solomon at the back stick. Leeds turning the screw a little bit, as much as it's possible to do against this Burnley defence. Tanaka. Rodon. Tanaka. Both sides very well drilled. That song was #1 when I was born. How about that, hey? Yeah, R.I.P. Whitney. What a force of nature she was, hey? Great voice. Bogle and Humphreys just fall over the line. Well, Humphreys does into the LED board. All is well that ends well. It's going to be a restart. And the other thing with this being so tense is if you were going to make a substitution on 65, that then becomes 70, doesn't it? You just leave it a little bit longer. Caution is key. Trafford, restart. Goes long right-footed. It's going to go straight out of play. Burnley can't really get hold of the ball at the moment. Possession has, as you can imagine, swung back in Leeds' favour now. It was at 61 for the second half in Burnley's favour. It's now 51 in Leeds' favour. Pirro pokes that forward. Esteve knocks it off Aronson's out of play for a Burnley throw. Sam Parkin's back with us tomorrow for the Championship Check-In podcast. Probably talk a bit about this game. Sam is tuned in. Talk about the rest of the weekend in the Championship. Predictions with Sam as well. We'll film them tomorrow, but we'll get them out on Wednesday. It takes a bit of time to edit them. Trafford across the box to Egan Riley. Most of the game seems to be played in Burnley's defensive half. Here come Burnley actually now stepping into the Leeds half. Egan Riley just carries it up the pitch. Anthony Roberts round the corner. Good covering run from Gruev. Knocks it out, throw in. And yeah, it just took a Burnley player there just to carry the ball for a while, didn't it? Roberts, quick throw in. It's into the box. Knocked off to Anthony, who looked offside to me. Driven across the box. Nobody there to knock it in. I thought Anthony was offside when it got played back. Yeah, I think the flag's gone up now. Oh, do you know what? He wasn't offside. I said I thought he was offside. He looked offside. He wasn't. Linesman's got that totally wrong, hasn't he? So did I, in real time. I'm not stood 10 metres away from it, by the way. Joe Rothwell pictured warming up. I like Joe Rothwell. I suppose he could be a match winner doing one of those driving runs from central midfield through the crowd. But I suspect it would be more a Ramazani, a Joseph or a Nonto. The Leeds fans would want to see. This looks like a nice opening. No, cut out. Bogle's followed it up, though, down the right-hand side. Bogle. Oh, Foster, you knew he was going to foul him, didn't you? Has he not given a foul for that? That looked a nailed-on foul. Let's watch the replay. Bogle's fooling. Looks like a foul to me. It's clumsy. His hand on his back. He's falling into him. I'll leave that one to the chat. All the Burnley fans will say it wasn't a foul. All the Leeds fans will say it is a foul and we'll be none the wiser. I think there might have been another dissent book in there. Yeah, Bogle's actually got himself booked for dissent. There's 3 Leeds players in the book now. 2 for dissent, actually. Bogle and Solomon. James with the tactical foul. The 3rd yellow card. Burnley have just managed to move the territory a little bit more advanced from their point of view over the past 3-4 minutes. It's going to be down to subs, isn't it? We're at 67 now. We saw Joe Rothwell warming up. There's so much quality on both benches, isn't there? Although I did like the idea of Hannibal and Ashley Barnes in just a S-House. Go for your S-House Championship 11. Fleming tries one round the corner, spoons up in the air. Brownhill flick on. Fleming lobs it over for Anthony to chase. That's a foul by Anthony, isn't it? Shove in the back. Hits the shot and Melier saves it, but it's clearly a foul, wasn't it? Good defending by Rodon. Body in the way. Knew it was coming as well. Waited for it. Definite foul by Anthony. Both hands on the back. Shoving the centre half. Ampadu, Tanaka, Rodon. Knocked forward and turned over, actually. Didn't look after that very well at all there. Leeds, Humphreys, Laurent. Bogle flew into that a little bit then, kind of thinking, careful, fella. You're on a yellow now. Don't give the ref a chance. There's one curved in. Lovely ball that by James. And that is a corner for Leeds. An attacking set play. It's going to come in from the right-hand side, left-footed. We're not getting the wide shot. I'm sure Grueff is over there to take it. Can they get first contact? Can they get themselves a goal from this, Leeds? In comes the delivery. That's a poor one. Into the near post, into the side netting. Right. We're not going to get Joe Rothwell. We're going to get Matteo Joseph. And we're going to get Largi Ramazani by the look of it as well. Daniel Farker twists first, straight swaps. Piru's going to come out and Joseph's going to play up top. Solomon is going to come out. And Ramazani is going to play wide. You should collaborate with Callum Fowler. Absolutely. Tell him on game. A goal kick goes long. Bogle up in the air as a pull there. Another clear foul. Brownhill trying to get a rise out of Ampadu. Not succeeding by the look of it. So double sub from Leeds, Ramazani and Joseph in. Will they have an impact in the final 20 minutes here? Meslier coming up the pitch, terrifying all Leeds fans. Rodon. James. Oh, nice ball, James, through the legs. Cleared away, throw in Leeds. Bogle. Tanaka. Aronson fouled by Foster, who loves a foul, doesn't he? Maybe he doesn't. I'm not saying he's a dirty player, but he concedes a fair few fouls, doesn't he? Definitely an attacking player who's become a winger who has to do some defending, who gives away fouls, basically. Rodon, Tanaka. Nice sidestep. Tanaka, lovely ball in. It's poor control by Joseph. It was fired into him by Tanaka, but he came and showed for it and then couldn't control it. Here comes Jeremy Sarmiento for Burnley. It's going to come on in a minute. Ooh, careful. Ampadu nearly got caught playing out then. It's been shoved over again. Need to calm down a little bit up the top there, Burnley. Giving away a few fouls now, aren't they? I think the referee's just explaining to Anthony, one more and you're going to get booked. And speaking of booked, Lyle Foster's coming out for Sarmiento, presumably because he's probably about to get booked as well. Foster, Sarmiento into the game. And Leeds restart. Tanaka. Thank you for all of your support, by the way, tonight. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. I know you love your goals, but we knew this was going to be tight, didn't we? Rodon. Knocked off by Ramazani. I think it's his first touch. Into Joseph. That's a much better take, isn't it? Fumbled his first involvement. Didn't fumble that. That was excellent. Rodon. Ampadu. Burnley defence. That Leeds cannot get through as things stand. Although here's a big diag, and that's worked out nicely. James 1v1 with Humphreys. James, can you get cross in? He's going to go on his left foot. James does get the cross in. Good defending by Connor Roberts, just holds his ground. Ramazani would have hoped to just jump over the top of him and head that in the goal, but Roberts is in prime position there. Just holds his ground, doesn't he? And Ramazani can't overpower him, jump over the back of him. Good defending. But Leeds did well there. They went slow, so quick and got Dan James over on the right wing. And they're pressing nicely here as well. Burnley are going to have to go long. Brownhill trying to get away. And he's been caught there by Ampadu, who's probably going to go in the book as well. It's been bubbling up a little bit up there, particularly with Anthony and Brownhill of Burnley and Rodon and Ampadu at the back. Yeah, he just left one on him there, didn't he? Be surprised if he doesn't get booked here. Oof. It's a silly one, really, because he's clear favourite to win the tackle. He takes the ball, but you can't, these days, smash the man as well, because you'll concede a free kick. .77 gone then. Free kick to Burnley. As I said, it's boiling up a little bit. At the back there with Rodon and Ampadu and Anthony and Brownhill. You should definitely throw Ashley Barnes into the mix there. But speaking of throwing it into the mix, they're trying to throw this free kick into the box. Burnley. Leeds holding the defensive line on the 18-yard box. He's going to go in right-footed from Anthony. Gives a signal. Swings it over. Oh, Meslier got his positioning wrong there. It went to the back stick. Esteve couldn't get it. I'm conscious with Meslier of not to poke the bear here, but yeah, he's under the ball. He's in no man's land. And fortunately for him, he's covered on the back stick by Bogle. But yeah, he was definitely in no man's land there, wasn't he? Tanaka. Here's Ramazani. Poor touch by him. Given away. Knocked back home to Trafford, who goes as long as we go into the last 10 of normal time. 0-0. Humphreys. Oh, dreadful touch. Oh, he slid in well and won that back. He was in trouble if he did give that away there. 2 Leeds players swarming into the tackle. Played down the line for James. Out of play it goes. Humphreys kind of apologises. He got caught there. It's going to be a restart for Burnley and for James Trafford. Yeah, Sky are plugging Friday night there. Blackburn Preston. I am not around. So it's more likely to be a watch along Saturday lunchtime than Friday night. Here comes Trafford then with a restart. Goes long down the middle of the pitch. Can Fleming win that? No. Well, he kind of does actually on the floor. Knocks it onto Brownhill. Good tackle that by Byron from left back. And Egan Riley has it for Burnley at the back. Esteve goes diag, looking for Anthony, and it's headed away. For a Burnley throw-in. Nope, a Leeds throw-in. Connor Roberts disagrees. David, Rothwell on, please. I mean, he is a player that's got something different in that ability to drive and carry the ball from central midfield into the box. It was a bit of a calling card, wasn't it? When he was at Blackburn, Rothwell. Ampadu goes home to Meslier, who knocks it onto Rodon. Gruev, Rodon. A night of cancelling each other out. Not much in it at all. It's Leeds on points probably, but, you know, that's irrelevant because it could be another Burnley clean sheet. And unless Leeds score in the next 8 minutes plus stoppage time. Here's James. It's a foul by Brownhill, who's going to get booked on his next one, isn't he, I think? Ramazani, Ampadu, Gruev, Tanaka. That's poor ball back. Burnley players all run forward 5 meters as it goes. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Second half, guys. No shots. So we thought one moment might win the game. Someone needs to have a shot for that to happen. James. James back to Tanaka. Aronson, nice little feed. Bogle in the box. Well blocked out by Esteve. Humphreys clears up the line. And Fleming is fouled, which means Burnley can restart and get the ball up pitch. Neither manager going to the bench again. It does really feel like tournament football, this, doesn't it? Do not lose from both managers now. Nice ball out to Anthony, who's actually 1v1 with Byron. Anthony tries to put the cross in. Bounces So Gruev tackles him and then bounces back off Anthony and out for a goal kick. There is John Joe Shelvey, who is going to join this Burnley team and presumably just try and ping 50-yard balls about from deep central midfield, which is what he did last time he was in the Championship with Newcastle. Now, there's one over the top. Ramazani's he got legs? No. He can't get that. The Leeds fans behind the goal applaud, but pretty poor ball. Trafford with the restart. Robertson at right back. Here's Anthony. Deep. Good press by Leeds. Joseph in particular does well, actually. Trafford's going to have to hoof this from a not very nice part of his penalty box. It's done well, though. Trafford. Headed back. Esteve, little nod down, and Burnley can find their way away again. Byram up the back of Anthony, who goes down. Free kick. Burnley. As the rain pours down. If this ends 0-0, which is looking rather likely now, it's going to be Leeds 60, Sheffield United 58, Burnley 57, Sunderland 55. And what that will mean is that none of the top four won in round 29. Sheffield United losing 3-0 at home to Hull, Sunderland drawing 2-2 at home to Plymouth, and obviously neither of these sides winning unless, I mean, we need a shot first before we can have a goal, but unless someone's going to nick a goal in the dying embers, it'd be a massive goal now. But yeah, as Graham says, no shots on target in the whole game and no shots, period, I think, in the second half. It's just been a massive tournament football chess match, don't lose, basically. But yeah, second half, I mean, wow, let me just bring stats up on the other screen here. Second half, yeah, 0 shots and 0 XG for either side. Incredible. But that's broken nicely. Oh, goodness me. Joseph couldn't quite control it. If he did, he could have poked Dan James in behind. And he would have been clear on goal there. Fair play to Leeds. They're getting players forward. This Burnley defence is so good. Although Laurent's just given the ball away there. Here's Bogle. Bogle into the box. Bogle, bit of space. Can he get the shot off ice? Good block by Cullen. Wow. Nearly opened up for Jayden Bogle then. It's an interesting bit of defending by Cullen, who seemed to show him the right foot a lot and say, go on then, take the shot on. But he had it pegged just right. Obviously knew Bogle was a right back and maybe wasn't going to hit the shot early. But Cullen does really well, actually, doesn't he? Drama to end this. And yes, indeed, Ronnie, a shot. How about that? Corner. Leeds. 88 about to tick up on the clock. In it comes, left-footed. They've won the first ball. Oh, shot driven in. It's a great strike, tipped over by James Trafford. It's hammering down with rain. Ball bounces up at Dan James. Really good hit under those circumstances. Does put it down Trafford's throat, but he couldn't have done a hell of a lot more with that, James. Another corner comes in. Pressure here for Leeds. Ramazani, can he get anything on it? No. They are so solid at the back, Burnley. So there you go. We had a couple of shots there. One from Bogle got blocked out. It's a really good strike by James, isn't it? When you think corner hammering rain down there. It is down Trafford's throat, but he does what he needs to in that weather and just tips the ball away. In comes Hannibal. Let's see if he can get booked. Coming in minute 89 in stoppage time. Go on. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Is Hannibal going to manage to get himself booked? Surely he is. Come on. Don't let us down here. Rain looks like it's getting worse and worse. They're up at Turf Moor. Guys, free speech ahoy. You can say what you like in the comments, but you do have the choice to not put snarky comments and have a pop at the game. And you can try and be positive if you want, but free speech ahoy. If you want to make snarky comments about the game, you can. Maybe they could be directed at the players rather than me. I'm trying my best here, all right? Well, now here come Leeds. It's a 3-on-3. James gets it out of his feet. James to Joseph, corner of the box. Joseph cross blocked. Burnley do the business defensively yet again. Hannibal. Anthony. We're into stoppage time. There will be 3 minutes given away by Anthony. And miscontrolled out of play by Sam Byron. We have 2.5 minutes remaining of 3 minutes minimum stoppage time. As things stand, none of the top 4 are going to win in round 29. Guiavogi is going to come in just to shore it up and guaranteed a clean sheet for Leeds in the last 2 minutes of this one. I think Gruev is down, so I'm guessing he's coming out. Big unit, Guiavogi. Coming in for Ilya Gruev. And that's also killed about a minute of the stoppage time as well. So probably it's 90 seconds left of the minimum stoppage time on the clock. However, we'll probably go a little bit longer than that now we've had the substitution. It's knocked forward. Trafford comes way out of his goal. Kind of slices it. Gets a bit lucky that it lands straight on Sarmiento's head. Given the weather, it's worth sticking it down the throats of the centre halves, hey? It's getting worse up in the northwest. About a minute left to play. There it goes long down the ground. They've let it bounce, but Esteve heads it away. Here's James. James' shot blocked, and it's cleared away. Oh, attacking phase here for Leeds to end the game. Ramazani, can he dribble into the box? Yes, he can. Ramazani puts it side netting. And I think we can all go home. It's going to be 0-0 in the big top of the table clash. The chess match continues. No winner tonight. It's like a playoff game, this, wasn't it? Proper tournament football. Neither side able to win. Neither side wanted to lose, though, did they? As I said at the top of the show, the draw became far more, or less of a problem with the two sides knowing that Sheffield United had lost to Hull and that Sunderland and Plymouth had drawn. Smile and an embrace between Daniel Farker and Scott Parker. The game is up. They've both ticked off this particular head-to-head, and it is all over. It's yet another clean sheet for Burnley. And okay, in amidst all the snarky comments about the game, I understand it wasn't maybe one for the purist. Really was like a playoff game, though, wasn't it? And just absolutely nothing in it whatsoever. Both sides take a point. Both sides get a clean sheet. Let's have a look and see how that leaves the top of the championship table. I think some guys in the chat had put the remaining head-to-heads up, and I think Leeds play Sheffield United, and did they play Sunderland one more time? I can't quite remember. I haven't played them at home. I don't remember, but someone put the head-to-heads up. But let's have a little look at the league table just to round out the show tonight. And there it is. Leeds 60, top of the league with 17 to go, over 2 points per game, and they've faced Burnley twice. So it's fine for Leeds, isn't it? Sheffield United 58, Burnley 57, and Sunderland 55. That is about the size of it up at the top of the table. All as you were, really, isn't it? With none of them winning. Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland all had on a point. Sheffield United got away with one, haven't they? They've lost at home to Hull and nobody else has won. But yeah, as I say, as you were up at the top of the table. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. Again, not a classic, as David says there. You can only work with what you're given. And we all cope in different ways with a boring or frustrating football match, don't we? There you go. Thank you, Mark. Sunderland v Leeds and Blades v Leeds. So they do have to face the other two teams in the run-in. We are going to be back with Sam Parkin tomorrow on the Championship check-in. We had planned to talk about this game, but I doubt we're going to now because nothing really happened, did it? So we'll maybe talk more generally about the top four in the weekend. But join us for that. And I think that'll do me for tonight. We'll be back, Championship Check-In podcast tomorrow. Predictions will come out on Wednesday. 0-0 between Burnley and Leeds. It's ticked off. And you can process it however you see fit. But as you were up at the top of the table, which means if you stop the clocks, Leeds will be in the Premier League. If you say nice things and say thank you for the chat, I will put them all up as we do the outro video is playing. Thank you all for joining me. Yes, a tough watch for the second time in a couple of days, but we did our best. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back with Sam and the Championship Check-In podcast tomorrow. See you soon.